Someone asked me the other day how I focus on staying relatively optimistic in my life with everything going on. And I asked what they meant by that. And they shared with me just when they've gotten to talk to me on a personal level, on a professional level, I don't seem to let a lot of things get under my skin. And they wanted to know how I focus on that. And that I'm not walking around with a ton of anger and a ton of resentment, and how, as I get older and I see more of life, and life kind of throws me around like it has a tendency of doing, how it is that they said basically that I still have a pure heart. And I will tell you, I choose that for myself. I choose that for myself. There's so much that happens in our lives that we aren't able to control. And a lot of horrible things happen in a given day to people, whether it's ourselves, people we love, the world around us. And I know a lot of you that watch this have put your happiness on hold. And some of you will feel guilty about really allowing yourself to reclaim your joy and reclaim your happiness. And the focus oftentimes is on the sadness in the world and the overwhelm in the world and the danger in the world. So people will ask me like how I've connected to my heart and how it is that I stay in an optimistic place and a hopeful place and a place oftentimes and mostly assuming the positive. And my answer is that I choose that for myself. I can write a book and validate 10,000 reasons why life is dangerous, life can be shitty, and life can be a really painful experience. And I'd be happy to do that. And I'd be happy to do that because if I wrote a book of all the things that have happened in my life and things that I've seen happen in my life and things that I've seen happen with people that I care for deeply, that I choose to come out of all of those ashes and fire and negative things with an open heart, or at least as open as I can, to me, that's me honoring the beautiful life that I've been given to live. I acknowledge the things that happen in life that are pretty shitty. I acknowledge how I feel about things. I have weeks where I feel angry about something or I feel upset about something. So I'm not sitting there and just shoving it in a box and saying, oof, I'm just going to choose to be happy. But at some point for myself, every single thing I've gone through in my life, no matter how awesome or bad it is, at some point, I've had enough of a certain feeling. And at that point, I get to choose differently and I get to remind myself of that differently. And it is such a powerful reminder that we don't have to stay stuck in a negative emotion to honor what it is that we're going through. That we can reclaim our love, our peace of mind, our zest, our excitement for life, and at the same time, really honor the things that have happened to us. All of the things that have happened to us, the times my heart has been spit out and stepped on, where I've been disappointed, where I've failed, where people in my life that I've loved with from the bottom of my heart have been taken from me and that have suffered in that process, and sitting there and watching those things. All of those things have happened and they've gotten me to where I'm at today. All of those things I couldn't have done or dealt with any differently than I did. But I can tell you one consistent thing that I made sure to do was commit to not letting it affect my peace of mind, not letting it close my heart down. That no matter what happened, I wouldn't let it steal my peace of heart or my peace of mind. Doesn't matter how horrible the thing was in front of me. I allowed myself to obviously feel the deep emotion of whatever it was I was going through, but to have it hold me back, to have it shut my heart down, for me, that's the challenge in life, is how do I keep an open heart and live my life? How do I keep an open, willing heart to explore positive and assume the best in people? I see a lot of people every day. I work with a ton of people all over the world, a lot of friends out in the world. I notice a lot of people as they get older, they start to become more bitter. They start to become more fearful. They become less trusting. And it breaks my heart inside because the truth is that as we get older, Those are the precious times as well as when we're younger. It's all precious. And as we adapt and as we change in life, we get to hold on to our joy should we choose to. So the reason I wanted to sit with you all today is we're going into the holiday season. It's very easy to go on autopilot. It's very easy to fall into old patterns, old family patterns, old habits. Commit before you go to your family gatherings to allow yourself to focus on the things that bring you joy. Communicate about the things that bring you joy. Communicate about things that you love. Communicate about things that you love about people. When you do this, you're planting seeds of joy within your own heart, but also for people around you. We can bitch about things. We can talk about politics. We can talk about global warming. We can talk about all kinds of things. And those things are very real. But is that the experience you're wanting to create for yourself in every single given day or in this particular time and beautiful, beautiful holiday season that you're walking into? You get to decide. You get to decide. You can happily share with people that you didn't want to talk about politics today because you really want to just create a lot of joy today. That it doesn't make you happy to really focus on those. If you're thinking about talking about global warming or about people that are suffering in the world, there's a beautiful space for that when we're with family, and it's a place of prayer. It's a place to bring everybody into our heart and everybody into our circle and pray for support and pray for love and pray for peace. And then we have the people around us in our world that are sitting in front of us at the table. How are we going to enhance this experience for this coming day? How are we going to enhance each other? Because we need that. We need to fill up each other. We need to do that, not tear each other down, not focus on the things that we can't control, but honoring the things that we can't control, but focusing our time on things that bring us peace and joy. And again, people will say, well, isn't that dishonoring? There's all this other stuff going on. Why would me focusing on joy be dishonoring of somebody that wasn't experiencing joy in that moment? We're all simultaneously by each other's sides living life. And we're all having different experiences at exactly the same time. And if we wait for everybody around us to be happy and at peace before we give ourselves permission to do that, our life is going to pass by very quickly. And we're going to have more and more days where we have our old habit, where we have our old pattern, where we become more negative, we become more bitter, we become more spiteful, we become more fearful. But that's a conscious choice that we're making if we don't choose to honor how we feel, but then shift to focus back on something that we enjoy. I honor how I feel. It makes me sad to see people suffering. And I stop and I breathe and I reset back into myself. I ask, is there anything positive that I can do? So if I get to get my family together, we're going to say a prayer and pull everybody in. We're going to talk about how we're doing. We're going to talk about how we can help each other. Is there anything that anybody needs to feel more loved, to feel more supported, to feel more connected? How many people I work with that have these homes of complete tension, depression, anger, no communication, but they're hyper worried about what's going on the outside. Peace literally starts at home. You see yourself as a beacon of peace. And you might say, oh my gosh, I can't see myself as a beacon of peace. Clearly you don't know me. Clearly you don't know how much anger I have. Clearly you don't know how impatient I am. We all are. And we all get to choose. We have so many facets about us. And we get to choose and grow and water any of those facets that we want about us. So this is a beautiful holiday season that we're walking into. And I personally choose joy. I personally am walking into this holiday season thinking about how I can help create joy for myself and for people around me and for the world. And I'm asking that. And I'm sitting with that. So when somebody cuts me off and somebody flips me off and somebody tells me I need to pay attention, I take a big deep breath. And I take another one. And I feel the anger and I feel the frustration. I feel the pull to just not be happy. And I say, oh, remember, now this is happening to give me a choice. I can choose how I'm going to react to this. And I'm going to take a big deep breath in through the nose slowly and deeply, exhaling out through the mouth slowly and deeply. We take so much of life so personally. Personalize what you want to receive out of life and know that only you get to decide how to do that. Nobody else is responsible for that, and nobody else can do that for you. People are showing up and they're living their lives. People are showing up and they're living their lives. And the more that you remember that people are showing up and they're living their own lives, as you show up and you live your own life, you are a heart-centered being. So as you give yourself permission to experience more joy in your own heart, amazing things happen to people around you and the environment around you. Focus, and I am challenging you on this, creating a life that you love, creating the feeling of connecting to what you want that brings you joy inside. Give yourself permission to honor how you feel with whatever's going on in front of you, but shift the gears anytime you can. Don't wait for the outside to validate what you get to focus on. It's throwing options your way and you get to choose that channel or this channel, that channel or this channel. I like to feel all kinds of channels. And then I do what's called flushing it out. And I say, okay, what am I going to choose to really focus on right now? I focus on joy. I focus on creating love. And I focus on creating so much more peace in my heart. If you look at your house and you look at your relationships with your family and you don't feel at peace, this is where it needs to start. This is where it needs to start. How can I create peace in my own home? And of course, the outside is very bothersome. A lot of what goes on in life is very painful. And I'm not saying not to focus on those things, but I am saying we are responsible for the energy that we create in this world. How are you doing at home? This is a very important question. Be kind to yourself as you listen to the answers. Just choose to do it even a little bit better with a little bit more awareness, and it will go very, very well. This is a time of healing family dynamic. It's a time of healing family energy in a way that I've never seen before in my practice. So that means there's a lot of tension coming up that's new for people. How are you going to deal with it? Somebody throws something at you. What do you do with it? Me? I catch it? What play do I want to make? How do I want to react to this? What's my goal? Right? Most people throw it right back. Let's learn not to do that. That's a reactive experience. Hold it. Somebody's angry, bam, they throw it at you. Whoop, hold it. That doesn't mean you have to take shit from people all the time, but give yourself some space. Feel it out. Learn how to do that, and it's awesome. I'm going to be talking a lot about this, so make sure if you aren't tuned in and subscribe to this, make sure so it comes automatically to your inbox. Just like it, subscribe. It'll come into your inbox every time I post here. I want you to learn how to heal your life from the inside out and how you can choose to be happy and how you can honor what's going on around you and how you can help the world in a way you've never been able to do it quite yet. And you know you're capable of doing more. And that is the key. You can do more, and it's learning how to do more. We're all in this together. Big hugs.